Welcome to Tea Time with Nina. This is my guest, Candice Fowler. And what we're going to do is just have some chat time. I want to start out our time by praying. Simple prayer. So, dear Lord, thank you for this tea and thank you for this time. That's it. We're done. Hi. Hi, Candice. My name is Nina Miranda Robles, and well, I just wanted to talk to my friend, and I thought you should be in on it. So if you have any comments, questions, concerns, you may post as you feel free to, and yeah, that's it. Enjoy. All right. So Candice, tell us a little about yourself.
Okay, I am married for 16 years. I have 5 boys, ranging from 4 to 16. I homeschool them, and I grew up as a military kid, and there's more, but I can't think right now. I play guitar and piano, and I love Jesus.
I'm so glad you said that, because so do I. I love Jesus. Do you love Jesus? And I really think that's one thing that kind of brings us together, because we do things kind of differently, but one thing we have in common is the Jesus. We definitely have the Jesus in common. Another thing we have in common is the homeschooling. So you did say that you homeschool your 5 boys. Can you tell me a little bit about how you homeschool, what you use, why you homeschool?
Okay, I'll start with the why. My oldest is now in 11th grade. When he was in 5th, actually before that, he had been asking to be homeschooled for years. And then when he was in 5th grade, his grades started dropping drastically. And I kept trying to work with the teachers, and they just were not helping, and it was discouraging. And then I was going to just pull him out, and then I got another letter from this district saying that they were not meeting their standards of, schooling the kids there. Like, they were just, whatever the benchmarks they needed to do, they weren't. So then I was like, all right, I'm just going to pull them all, and I jumped all in. And I feel like the reason has kind of changed. Like, it was kind of out of, just my oldest son's want and need and wanting the best for him. But now I feel like I get the opportunity to just spend time with them, to really invest in who they are and the foundation that I want to lay before they do that. Go further into their education, their work, or life, all that stuff.
That's wonderful. So your oldest one did go to public school for a while. How long did he go?
Until 5th grade. He finished 5th grade, and actually, my 3 oldest went. My third one, Evan, he went to preschool only, and then I pulled him kindergarten, 1st grade, and then or maybe kindergarten. I don't remember. And then Caleb, the same thing. He went, but they don't miss it at all.
They don't.
No.
So how many years have you been homeschooling altogether?
This is my 6th.
Good question. How many kids have you taught to read?
Probably right now 1 full one. Evan, because the other ones already have that foundation. And then now I have he's like kindergarten, 1st grade. He's reading like words, but not full sentences quite yet. But he's like on the verge of that.
So I'm going to kind of cheat a little bit, because I know this about you. You have very creative ways of teaching your children. Can you please share with everyone some of the creative ways that you teach your kids?
Okay. So one of the things that comes to mind talking about reading is, we've all heard of sight words. So my husband built a rock wall in our hallway.
Wait, say that again? Your husband built a what?
A rock wall in our hallway.
A rock wall in her hallway.
5 boys in the cold. We need energy out.
He built a... blows my mind. Still, I go visit and I'm like, there's a rock wall in her hallway.
So I took Post-it notes, and then I wrote just simple words like I, he, she, will, love, like different things, and I just covered the wall all the way up and of sight words, and then I would have the boys climb, touch and form, and I would do punctuation marks too, so that they knew to end with something. And and so I would have them form sentences with the sight words. So the older ones that knew how to, they got to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other ones that were younger, and I did their names too so they could recognize their names when they were smaller.
Mm-hmm.
Just, knowing, like, simple stuff like that.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's one example. I can't really.
Well, I do remember when I first met Candice, I came to her house and I
yeah.
walk in and there was a full human body sized replica of like
Evan,
yeah. So what exactly were you doing? Please explain.
Okay, so we were doing biology, and part of what we were doing is I traced his body, and then each day or each week we would learn a new body part or just different things, and then we would print it out or color it or whatever, and just put it on wherever it belonged, and it was just.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so
yeah, I saw Evan and his insides on the wall.
Yeah.
It was great.
in our living room or kitchen, it was like in between.
So, what curriculum do you use, or do you use a curriculum?
Okay. Yes, it's. We started with allinoneHomeschool.com, I think it is, or Easy Peasy, because it was free. I didn't know going into it if this was going to be a long-term thing. So I didn't want to invest in a lot of money, and this is completely free, and it was Christian-based. It is online, and so I did that for the first few years, and I still use it for Caleb and Evan, but more so now as pretty much like a skeleton, like, what subjects we're going to cover, and then I'll just use my own resources, go to the library, just borrow different things just to enhance whatever is already there, and just as a guideline. And then my oldest this year is his first year of classical conversations. He's in 11th grade now, and I just wanted him to have a little bit more accountability, stretch himself a little bit more, be around peers his own age once a week, and that's where we're at now. And then the younger ones, I always just did whatever they were interested in. If they love dinosaurs, there's so many free resources online, like printables, things, little activities. Pinterest is full of ideas. Pinterest, yeah. And so I would, whatever they loved, if it was Mario, if it was anything, just whatever they loved, I just went on that, and then so that they liked sitting there and doing the different things.
So how many years have you been homeschooling altogether?
It's been 6, but probably a little bit more, because I've always done little things when they were little, because you want to teach them, it's a natural thing to want to teach them to walk, to talk, to learn. So it's, even before I was homeschooling, I was teaching them different things like colors and all that stuff.
Okay, so one really, really, really common misconception for homeschoolers is that we don't socialize, that you have your kids locked up, in a basement somewhere, they can't even see light. Only you are the only experience they have in their lives, and they have no other way to kind of experience the world. Can you tell me some extracurricular things that you do with your kids?
Right now, we've had more doctor's appointments than anything, but we've had a foundation.
So they go to the doctor.
Orthodontist, dentist, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But we've had a foundation of, I used to host things at my house on a weekly basis, and we called it Fun Fridays, but we would take a subject. We would take, just say apples in the fall, and we would learn all about apples, for all the different ages. We'd do science, the buoyancy of apples. We would do bake apple pie and stuff. But I would invite many families to our house, so they form the friendships over the years, and so they still see them regularly, that type of stuff. My oldest go to youth group, and really and then we've tried music lessons, various years for different kids, and it works for a lot of people. It did not work for mine because they didn't want to practice what they were being taught, and so I said, I'm not paying for this.
Yeah, of course.
So my second, Caleb, he's amazing on piano, but most of it is self-taught through YouTube, because
YouTube.
Yeah.
Look at all these resources we have. We have Pinterest, YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, the library. These are all free things that you can that you're tapping into to educate your children without using a public institution.
Yeah,
you're a wonderful mom. Just saying. Okay, we're going to move on from homeschooling. And you said you've been married for 16 years?
Mm-hmm.
Please tell us a little about your husband. Her husband is amazing, but she's going to tell us about it.
He is amazing. We met when we were 10 and 12 years old through when I moved to New York from Washington after my dad got out of the military. We started going to the same church, and it's a whole story in itself, but I really felt like God told me that I was going to marry him. Like, I had a vision of us sitting at a piano, and I didn't like him at the time, and I interpreted that as we were going to be married, and I was like, this is weird. I told my mom, and she would joke about it, and then I, grew up, and, I think I turned 16. We were at that time I started to like him more, and then
Hormones raging, huh?
Yeah, we knew we liked each other, but nothing, like, we weren't dating or anything. And then I had my sweet 16, and then he got his feelings hurt, and then he ran away. It was around 9/11. So I shut down. I made this inner vow: I'm never gonna marry him. I'm never gonna let him hurt me. I didn't do anything wrong, like all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then it goes into my other story. I don't know, how deep you want to go.
No, we don't have to go too deep.
Yeah.
That's for another interview. But let's just keep it shallow. So
Okay.
16 years of marriage.
Yeah.
So how old were you when you got married?
I was 17.
17! I wish I had a picture of them building their first house. I know I'm ruining all the good juicy stuff. But a picture of them together, such an inspiration you guys are, building their first house. And you guys are babies, but so obviously in love and excited for what the future holds. So I know, and there are points in your life where you can, how you wonder, am I going to remember this moment exactly? Do you remember that moment framed out in that what would soon be your bedroom when you were building your house? Do you remember that moment?
Mm-hmm.
And thinking, what's it going to look like in 10 or 15 years?
Yeah.
So now you're 16 years down the line. How much of it was foreseeable, or how much of it's blown your mind?
Yeah, I mean, we had talked about having a bigger family, but I don't think we really fully pictured 5 kids in that house. Just because when we moved in, we only had 2, and so we had a spare bedroom because we had the 2 share, and we had our music room, and so so it's grown a lot, and but.
So what are some things that you and Tim have in common? You have said music a couple of times.
Yeah.
Is that something you share with your husband?
Yes. Yep. He's a musician. He's super gifted in anything that he tries, which is kind of annoying because I have to work. And but yeah, that's one of the things that I really, his heart for God is one of the things I fell in love with, and his heart of worship for him. And other things in common, I don't even know.
Well, 5 boys is a lot in common.
Yeah.
16 years, you probably do more things alike than different.
Yeah, I'm trying to think though. Our love languages are the same, which is very helpful. It's because
love languages.
Yeah.
Another resource. Tell us about the love languages.
All right, so it's I forget. Is it Gary Chapman? I don't know.
I think so.
Yeah, so you can take a free test online and just answer a couple questions, and then it gives you, in order what your love language is, how you receive and give love, just a natural way. Mm-hmm. And so our top 2, I forget which order, is quality time and physical touch. So when I'm giving it, he's receiving it, and vice versa. So it's easy to. That makes it easy. We don't have to try harder to meet them in the way that they give or take. So
sadly, me and my husband have way different love languages.
Yeah.
I have taken the test, and so has he. And his love language makes no sense to me, and vice versa. So, but It's fun.
Yeah.
It is a fun test to take. I will say that as you're answering the questions, you kind of like, I wonder what the answer is going to be. I wonder what the answer is going to be. And then when it comes out to what the answer is, you're like, I should have known that was the answer.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But that is really cool that you guys have that. So, do you guys do any type of worship together? Do you guys write together? Do you sing together? Do you perform together? Don't you have like a YouTube page of you two making music together?
Yeah. It's varied. Every season is different over our course. There was a season where he was a worship leader and I was on the worship team. There was a season where he was not, and there was no music writing, no music playing.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're coming into a season where in the last couple of years where, we'll do different things either together or separate, for different events that are happening or community groups or stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But within this last year, we really felt like we wanted to spend more time as a family to just really set the time aside to just, whether it's write or just play something that's already been written and just play random chords after that and see if anything comes and stuff like that. So
that's so cool.
Yeah. But it's been a journey.
It has been a journey. 16 years.
Yeah.
And how old are you?
33.
Oh my gosh, you have like 50 more to go.
Yeah.
So awesome. And you guys are going to be so young when your boys are grown. Retirement's going to be amazing for you. Didn't me and my husband count down the years to retirement? He's got 19 and change. And our kids, when he retires, should all be gone already. So it's like, me and you, bud. Me and you. That's it. Nobody else.
Yep.
So excited. 19 years. 19 years! We can do it. Okay. So you talked about being a military kid. Can you just tell me more about that? I actually don't know that much about that part of your life.
So I was born in California. I think that's where my dad enlisted. I don't really know. My parents got married. They actually eloped in, I want to say their 20s, like the early 20s. Had me in California. Then they moved to the Philippines. Had my brother there. We moved to England. Had my sister there. And then we moved to Washington State. And we were on base there for a little bit, and then my dad got out, and he started software stuff, like just I don't know, a different job. We started building a house there, and then it fell through, and then they felt like they were supposed to move to New York. And
so they're not actually from New York. Where are your parents from?
No, they are. They were born and well, my dad was born in Texas, but grew up. In Hicksville. They met in Hicksville.
Okay.
In Bosse's. And on the bus, and they were best friends and talked.
Yeah, best friends.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then, their families were here, but now everyone is everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Right. So your parents live in Florida now, right?
Yeah.
And your sister lives in Florida. Where's your brother? And your brother.
Florida. Yeah.
So just you here in New York.
Yep.
You guys are keeping, the roots here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, thank you for sharing that. I do appreciate that. So you play the guitar and the piano. I've actually never heard you play the piano, and I do not have a piano here for her to play. But I do have a guitar here for you to play. Do you think Candice will play for us? Right. Just a little something, just to share your heart, and then, we'll get back to it. And then you have to try the tea because it's going to get cold and it tastes amazing.
Okay.
By the way, while she's getting her guitar ready, I'm going to let you know that we're having chai tea latte from Aldi. With
two
something,
of my favorite.
I know, right? Chai tea latte, Aldi.
Yes.
Two of my favorite places, right?
Yep.
Or what? One of my favorite things, one of my favorite places.
Yep.
And now they have them together at a really, really good price, and with some almond milk. So we're not even breaking the calorie bank right now. But it is so good. So that's the tea we're having, just in case you wanted to know. Go ahead.
This is I don't remember. Trying to think of what to play, but this is something that I wrote, I don't know when, but it's super simple, so I'm trying to keep it short and simple. Alright. My cares are all around me, yet I know you surround me like the air
married to T too? Good job. So, one thing about Candice that I want is her guitar skills. I'm trying to get her to give them to me. And I know you're willing. I just don't know if my fingers are going to like that very much.
No, it takes time.
It does. But watching and listening to you play is such a blessing. So let's just talk about like 10, 15 years from now. Is there something or some place or something you want to be doing, some place you want to be? Is there some benchmark that you want to meet, goal?
I never really thought of that, which that's probably what I should. I think I'm like more of a get through the next day type of person.
That's a good thing.
But let's see, 10 years from now, Jacob will be 14. I don't even know. I don't know.
You don't know?
No, I have no idea. I've never really thought about it.
Well, now you're going to think about it.
No, I am. I'm going to think about it. Yeah.
No?
No, I have not ever thought about it. That's crazy. I think I'm in just getting through the next day.
That's a good thing, like to be present, like in the moment.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is just like an off-the-cuff question. Do you have a scripture that you bump back to in times, something that is resonating? Maybe it's just right now in the season of life, but something that's resonating with you.
The one, I should know it by heart, but the one that I've been praying for myself and for my family is in Colossians, and it talks about letting your roots grow deep, and so that, everything will overflow with thanksgiving and be, firm in the faith that you were taught and stuff like that. So I feel like that is something that I carried on through really out my whole motherhood, life, that season of change, and it's still something that I pray, and there's just so many good scriptures, but I can't think of like one in this moment season type thing that I'm like holding on to.
Okay, since you've been married for about half of your life, we're like right at the halfway point right now, right? So do you have any advice for other married people? I mean, I'm coming up on 10 years, and to me, there's a cycle in marriage. You have some really great highs. You've got some, we're just coasting. You got some like lows where you're like, oh my gosh, we're never gonna make it. Can you give some advice on that?
Yeah, we've gone through similar cycles, and really, actually, I feel like the last, let's see, 4 years, I feel like we've grown tremendously. Like, because 4 years ago, there was a season where I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen. Like, he thought I was gonna leave. I thought he was gonna leave. Like, it was just very disconnected. Lots of insecurity, lots of hopelessness, and just misunderstanding. And then I still am trying to figure out like what was the turning point of that. Like, I'm still trying to like self-reflect on how we got through it, besides a lot of prayer. And that, what I found frustrating during that time was that there was not a lot of good examples of married people who still loved each other and cared about each other and could cover us. So I thought of like 2, and so I reached out to them to pray for us, and so the other thing, so in the last couple years, I think what's shifted is that we really trust each other. We really know our hearts for one another, and that we want the best for each other, that we're on the same team, we're on the same side, and we're not looking to put the other one down. And I've learned that, Tim needs time to regroup and be alone, and it's not a reflection on me, and that, sometimes he just needs space and not to talk through things right away. Like, if we're having a disagreement or different things, that it doesn't need to be dealt with right then. Like, he can process, and I can just step back and not take him withdrawing personal.
And don't take it personal. Please make me that poster. Nina, don't take it personal. That is really, really hard. I mean, personally, personally for me. One of the hardest things is to not take personal whatever my husband might be dealing with, because it tends to, like, I get the effect of whatever he's dealing with, and that's really good advice and perfect timing. Okay, so I think that we've done enough talking, but like this type of talking. I have this little fun jar right here. These are just, silly little questions in a jar that I made when I was 6. I still have it, and the lid. It's over there. It's like one of those little garbage cans. We did it at a craft fair when I was a kid. My mom would be so proud that I still own it. It says my name, Nina. And inside this jar are fun little pieces of paper. So, we're going to pick some out, and we're going to talk. Quick answers. Don't think too much. What do you think of the tea?
That's good.
Okay, good. All right, go ahead. Pick one. You go first.
How many pillows? So am I answering it?
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
I just use one, but I make my bed with 7.
Okay. So I make my bed with 8 pillows, and I sleep with 4. Like a bunker, ask my husband. To get inside, he must knock.
That's so funny.
All right, I'm gonna pick one.
If I'm really uncomfortable, sometimes I'll put one in between my legs, like a pregnant person.
Well, yeah, I have okay, so off the cuff question. Daily pet peeve. What is something that today you realize bothers you? Like, maybe you don't notice it all the time, but you're like, oh my God, that does bother me.
I don't know.
I'm gonna give you mine.
Okay.
When my skin touches. So I'm not a big fan of, like, clamminess. So if, like, my thighs are touching while I'm sleeping, yes, I said thighs. I'm like, oof. Or, like, if my underarm is, like, touching my other underarm, like the underarm, I don't like that. Or, like, like if you're sitting next to somebody and their clammy skin touches your clammy skin.
So make sure not to touch it.
But it's only, like, there are moments. Like, I think intentional touch is one thing. Unintentional touch for me is, like, one of those, like,
yeah.
I swear, I wasn't expecting your skin to touch my skin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Okay, another question. I'm gonna pick up. Ooh, cake or pie? I'm definitely gonna go with pie, and my favorite pie is pecan pie. Go ahead.
Neither.
Neither?
I like brownies.
I think that goes into cake.
Yeah? Alright, that's my favorite. Because I feel like I haven't had, like, I guess if it's like a really good, rich chocolate cake.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Yes? How many children do we have here right now?
8.
We have 8 children, and we've had how many minutes of a grown-up time? Not bad, but we have a disruption, so just 1 second. Yes, dear?
We're watching your memoirs. Can I make sandwiches?
Mommy's almost done, and then I'll make you lunch like the wonderful mother I am. Okay? You see that? Plug for me. Please go upstairs while we finish. No, the crumbling in the background is ruining the feed. Please listen. I'd appreciate it very much if you didn't continue what you were doing. Please stop. Please stop what you're doing. Leave it right there. And trust that I'm going to make you lunch very shortly. I appreciate you, Pilot. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. How'd I handle that? Not bad? My heart's pounding. I'm starting to sweat a little.
It's real life.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, Netflix or Amazon Prime? I'm going to have to say Netflix just because even though I have like the Amazon Prime videos, I've not really delved into it.
Oh my goodness. Please do.
Okay. You gotta
Please.
tell me.
Oh my gosh. Downton Abbey? Binge Downton Abbey. I know it doesn't play anymore. It's completely done. It's 5 seasons. But you will feel... I don't have a word to describe. But as you're watching it, you feel, listening to them speak, and because it takes place like in the early 1900s, and it's, you know, in Europe, whatever, but they're the upper crust of society, and you're just like, wow, like, but then you see the bottom, the downstairs version too. Oh, here we go. 1 second. Bebo, hi, honey, excuse me. I need you to stop what you're doing right now and go back upstairs. Me and Miss Candice are almost done. I will give you a snack momentarily. Mommy's gonna make lunch. Please go back upstairs. 1 and 2. Ooh, stomping those feet. Wonderful. Yes. I'll deal with that off camera. You're so nice. Your kids are being obedient. We did ask the children before to give us a half an hour, and my alarm has not gone off yet, so I know it has not been a half an hour. But I think we've gotten quite a few minutes of good time. So let's kind of like cut while we're ahead. Is there anything else that you'd like to share? Oh, I didn't answer the question. Amazon Prime or Netflix? I'm gonna say that Amazon Prime, I think, has quality stuff, but not as many options. I think Netflix right now is like super booming, and they're just constantly coming. It's like throwing it at you. Like you don't even get a chance to like love something before something else comes out. Amazon Prime, I think, is a little bit more constant. You know, like the oldies but the goodies, get the things that you want.
Yeah.
But I've really been into Hulu and the Hallmark Channel. Yeah. You don't watch the Hallmark Channel? What?
Well, I don't. What? We don't have TV.
For the app. The Hallmark Channel. It's all feel good TV. I'm dead serious. Like, and everyone. Oh, we just hit the 30-minute mark. Go ahead. Absolutely. Okay, we did it. Yay, we did it. Cheers. All right. So, I want to end in prayer and say thank you guys for watching. We're going to do this again. I'm not always going to have a guest. Sometimes you just get me. So if you have anything to say or questions or anything you want me to talk about, let's do it. There's no limits. I don't think there's any guidelines to what we can and cannot talk about. Just know that we're coming from a believing standpoint. We love Jesus here, and we're going to talk about it fully and openly. We love America, and we love our children, and we love our husbands. So negativity, out the door. We're not about it, okay? Bring positivity. Doesn't mean you can't vent. Sometimes the ugly needs to come out, but we're not going to stay there. Yeah? So just going to end in a prayer. Thank you, Lord, for the time with my friend, Lord. Thank you for the opportunity to share on this platform with those around who need to have tea with someone. I pray that you grow it in the way that you need to. Amen. Amen. Bye-bye.